Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm currently in the SMU, so I'm just gonna share stories with you guys that's come along the way, things that I might have heard or seen that I wasn't able to remember as I'm trying to put these video in chronological order. But I had requests about these two different Islander gangs that I guess are pretty known amongst the people that view this stuff. And I had mentioned yesterday that I was kind of hesitant to share the stories with you guys because I shared the story about Rodney Joseph a couple months back. And when I did that, I got a couple calls from Hawaii that, you know, a lot of people were in their feelings over it. I don't know, you know, for me, you know, Rodney, he was a legend out in Hawaii. So a lot of people put him on a what is it called?
Pedestal.
A pedestal. Because they had this image of him, of this and this and that. And by no doubt, he's probably everything that people believe. And he's in there for 3 bodies. So he's gangster. But it just, that incident that almost got us killed with the riots and the white boy, I'm just telling you how it is and what happened. That's what happened and how people perceive that. I'm not being disrespectful to the homie, or I'm not trying to slander his reputation or anything, but that's just facts, Holmes. And some people didn't like that much because, you know, a lot of people look up to him. Also, you know, with the Uso fam, they're a big gang in Hawaii. And there's a lot of them running around. And there's people that out there in Hawaii that's affiliated with me. Because I already have a video that's recorded about, you know, the situation with Bryson and the Uso fam while they were in Ocean Pacific back in Hawaii. But I've been asked to hold that video off until a later time. But the reason is that, you know, the islands are small. And most of my people that just came home, they're on probation or parole. And they don't want to get themselves in a situation where it's unnecessary, where somebody's in their feelings about a story I shared on here, and then they want to run up on the homie and try to check him, or have them send a message to check me. But the homie's not going to check me because everything I say on here is facts, Holmes. And so the homie's just going to end up punishing them, and it might cause whatever, you know, friction out there. So out of respect to the homies, I haven't put that video out. But like I said, the reason why I haven't shared a lot of stories with the Uso fam, again, I'm pretty sure, I mean, they're a big organization. Maybe they didn't end up the way they are now. And I'm sure that there was individuals that was rocking with them, that were thorough, that were on man time, that was about their business. But in my experience in the feds, most of them that's come through are fucked up. And there's not many of them in the USP. So you ask yourself, if you're such a big gang over here and all your homies catching cases and fed case, murder beef, robberies and all this stuff, why aren't you not ending up in the penitentiary? I'm not from no big gang. I'm a nobody. I'm just a kid from Utah. And I got sent to the penitentiary and got stuck in the penitentiary for 20+ years, 24 years, 23 years and 8 months, you know. And I know yesterday I kind of left you guys hanging a little bit about that dude Ofri from the Uso fam, and why was he hot? Like I said, I read the paperwork, but I didn't go through the paperwork with you. So today, I'm gonna go through the paperwork with you. And the reason I'm doing this video is really a public service. Because if you guys are out there on the islands, I don't know if he's still doing time or if he's home, but if you're out there out there on the islands and you run into this buster, then you should know what to expect. This dude is a certified confidential informant. How he ended up working for the people was when he was in the state and it was tax season. he hooked up with this Mr. Chin. Don't know his full name, but in the paperwork, it was just Mr. Chin. Now, how his paperwork came about, I feel I need to relate to you guys too, because this dude is a cold-blooded dumbass. And I'm not talking about because he's illiterate and can't read. I'm not going to make fun of somebody about that, because there's a lot of individuals in there that really don't know how to read and write. And that's not anything for me to clown or anything about. But the reason I'm going to clown this motherfucker, he's a rat. Cold-blooded, black and white paperwork, cold-blooded rat. And when he's trying to defend himself in the paperwork, he's trying to defend himself, trying to use big words, but he can't even use the small words correctly. So I read his shit like 3 or 4 times, so I have that shit almost verbatim memorized. I don't have the paperwork to produce to you guys to show you, but how it all started out, he was in the SHU in the state. Maybe he was in holding or whatever, he's fighting his case, but he's locked up in the SHU. And he's having a friction with the administration. According to him, according to what he wrote, they were treating him fucked up. They were carrying him some type of way. So he wrote them a letter, the administration of whatever jail, whatever prison he was in, he wrote them a letter. He said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, why are you guys treating me so bad? You know I'm one of you. They said in the paperwork, he goes, I work for you guys. I work for Mr. He said the detective's name. He said, I work for this detective. I've been working for him since 2011. Think about that. So he goes on and explain in his own handwriting, illiterate handwriting, how he ended up working for the people. He said while he was in the state or whatever, during tax season, he had hooked up with this Chinese dude, Mr. Chin, that had a grocery store. So Mr. Chin and him started doing some tax fraud. You know, the tax season, so they're doing tax fraud. Well, they're sending the check or whatever to old sister. And somehow she's cashing it in or whatever, but she's involved in the case. So when the peoples come down and bust his ass over it, they tell him they're going to arrest his sister. So he didn't want his sister to be arrested. So he made an agreement with the peoples to work for them. He told on Mr. Chen, got him indicted or charged. I don't know the extent of his case, but that's not even the gist of it. When he's working for these people, he agrees to go back out in the streets and knock motherfuckers off. So he's going back out in the street, wired or with his cell phone or whatever, and is running up on dudes that's hustling and trying to get them in an entrapment, copping, whatever, coming back to the feds, giving them the money. You know, but they're from the police report, the detective said, well, sometimes he wasn't reliable. Sometimes they sent him out on a mission to go get somebody caught up, and there was always an excuse or fumbling or whatever. But other times, he got motherfuckers knocked off and arrested. He's writing this letter to the administration at the jail or the prison that he's in to try to get out of the SHU. So he's trying to convince the administration that, hey, don't treat me like this. Don't lock me up in here, bro. I know you guys. I work for you guys. Call Detective so-and-so. He's my handler. This is in his own handwriting, black and white. I had 3 copies of it because when I left the SMU, the homie already had sent it to me. It was already in the mail. But when I got to the SMU, you know, when I left the SMU, the paperwork they already mailed me the paperwork. When I got to Florence, he had already checked in, you know, and if I can remember exactly, he checked in over a dope bill. He ran up some bill up to like $2,000 or something. He was living in a cell in the unit I was in with this Korean dude. But when he checked in, forgot his name, but a dude from Kansas, he pretty much had the yard for the Kansas and Midwest dude. You know, he was hustling or whatever. That's the money he had owed to the dude from Kansas. So in exchange, the Korean dude, his name is Kim, decided to fucking, because his bitch ass was scared, give up our sale to squash the $2,000 debt that O had owed, that he ran into the shoe over. So when I got there, we had just lost the sale because this bitch ass motherfucker ran up the bill, and then this other fucking Korean dude didn't want to stand up for it and gave up our sale. But my issue was, hey, how the fuck has he been here a year functioning with you guys? When I got his paperwork, I ain't out of the smooth 2 days, a week, and I already got his paperwork. How did you guys were not able to get his paperwork? And when I got there, I had a couple black dudes that was in Pollock with that dude. I had a couple Mexican dude that was in Pollock with him. Push up on me. He's like, damn, homie. I was like, hey, man, I've been telling your homeboys that this dude's fucked up. So I hit up, all these dudes that knew me, that function and are pretty cool with the Asian Islander car, had brought the issue up with the Asians and Islanders that was in Florence at the time. But all of them just like shrugged their shoulders, like, So I'm like, dude, this is what we do. Oh, they're like, them dudes never produce paperwork. I say, okay, they never produce paperwork. They're not trying to get the dude knocked off. They're just giving you, because they fuck with the Asian Islanders, a heads up on who you got in your car. The old saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. So when there's rumors in the air about somebody, yeah, these people that are sharing that with you might not have the black and whites, the paperwork, but you have to do your due diligence and go look it up. So now I have the paperwork in my hand. I have them all in my hand. And I'm showing you guys. I said, these people in here that fuck with me, these Mexicans, these white boys, these black dudes that knows me, and when they run into other Asian Islander, because of my relationship with them, they automatically have a, open mind about having a relationship with these individuals, because of the other Asian Islanders that they met along the way that they respected and care about. So when I produced the paperwork, they all start pointing fingers at each other about, dude said he checked his paperwork. The other dude said he checked his paperwork. So everybody's just like, well, that guy said he checked his paperwork. That guy said he checked his paperwork. Well, anyway, so now I know that these people that said that they cleared him on his paperwork, they themselves might be fucked up. Because the only reason you're going to protect a rat or somebody that's accused of being a sex offender or being foul is in hopes that maybe they don't look at you. But these dudes were over there before me and before some of the other homies that I was there that are good. So they already kind of set the precedence that, we check paperwork and everything. So the new homies that came onto the line was just allowing them dudes or taking their word for it. But I'm a little different. I want to know for sure that these motherfuckers standing around me are good, because I know it's only a matter of time, not a matter of if, but when we get into a funk. And if we get into a funk, I'm not trying to have dudes standing with me that's going to tuck their tail and run. Because if you're a rat and you're a buster, if you told on your own people already, if you told on motherfuckers from your family, your homies, from your hood, your gang, There ain't no way you're gonna sit here and ride with me when I just met you. So if you're willing to do that to your family members, to your own homies, to the kids, the dudes that you grew up with, you're gonna do it to me. So I don't want you anywhere around me. I was in Florence for 3 weeks. But as soon as I got there, all them Asian Islanders knew that there's gonna be a change. And they knew that I was coming. But for me, like I said, I don't want to go on assumptions or rumors. I do my background. All the homies that I've been done time with, there's a lot of them that I've kept communication with that's been on other yards. So I find out where these other dudes, what yard these other dudes been, and I send out my kite. Hey, I got this dude over here in Florence. He said he came from Pollock, this and that, this and that. Well, it turned out there's a couple of them that was on the yard that was fucked up. But you know, I've been in the SMU at this time. I've been locked down since November of 2015. And now we're in the last week of April of 2017. So I haven't been able to see my wife. I haven't been able, I talked to her when I left the SMU and I was in Oklahoma holding. But before then, I didn't talk to her for almost 18, 19 months, So when I got to Florence, my wife was gonna come and visit me, The third week I was in Florence, my wife came to see me. And she's like, hey, when I come to see you, I have some information for you that I'll share with you when I get there. I already knew what she's gonna tell me because, I have homies that are in other spot that keeping communication with me. And sometimes they might relay a message to me through my wife. But I already knew what was going on. But for me, I just wanted to see my wife first before I end up doing whatever it is that I have to do. So after the visit with my wife, when I came back, these dudes sitting in Florence, they already know that I'm gonna make a move. But, they beat me to the punch. And I'll share you that story when I get to Florence. But long story short, I got jumped in Florence and ended up going to the SHU for 7 months. There's more to it, but for now, you're just gonna have to wait. I'm almost out of the SMU. I'm in phase 3. Welcome to the USP.